This is quicker for me to jump on here and just reiterate, go over what somebody had asked me on a live about Lucero. And yes, I'm scratched, but no, I don't want to come on here and make a Palo channel or Samayaya and do all that. Um, I'm sort of like a navigational person, like I was saying before. I see where people are at, and then I'm like, you need to go here, and then like you know where you're going, you're gonna go there faster, and it's probably not with me. It's probably with somebody else. So, but you'll know like what the hell's going on basically is like more like what people find like my divination services are more about. So, we're going to talk about Lucero. So Lucero is an impungo, so belonging to Congo, Cuban tradition. We say Paulo Mayombe, but then there is lineages. And I'm from Brahma Cambrama. Scratched about 4 years ago. So people were asking me about Lucero. Do I have a Lucero? Do I have a Nkuyu? Can I talk about Nkuyu? And no, I don't. Would I like to get one? Maybe, but it's a whole other responsibility. And do I need one? Absolutely not. But it's like to me, these are things are like engines. They are something to help power your work. It's something to help you partly communicate with it, but it's mainly powered by necromancy, by a dead person. These religions are powered by dead people. So the person was asking me about spiritualism and a spiritismo in Palo as well, and I was saying although they're not the same thing, they pretty much go hand in hand or side by side in many cases, or they're really recommended you do it. And I'm of the partial, like, yes, do it, and the person was speaking, but I try to be more impartial about like the facts when I'm talking about things. Um, but yes, if you're not a spiritualist, however, you might be severely handicapped if you're not have those natural abilities. You haven't developed them. It's like a muscle, like anything else. And you get the experience because we're perceiving things all the time. Like I'm getting this, I'm getting that, right? But your Tata has the experience, the global perception of things, of events, of experience, of things they've seen, da 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 da, over and over, than just your perception of what you're getting. So that's I very much value, tradition and mentorship and doing things correctly. I've never really read books about African traditions and things like that on purpose to learn properly things. So I just want to show you my pepper plant back there. It's doing really great, but it was just a little cold outside and stuff like that. So okay, so Lucero. I was saying how almost every Nganga is like they say is like a Lucero at heart because of the way that they are built. In the foundation of it, they say canesta, the foundation, and the pax. And when you look at creation, and in comparison, I was saying about Kimbanda, their Eshus is like thinking about like a meteorite. Or again, I was talking before in my playing card video. You have the void, you have nothing, and then you have let there be light. You have thought, first inspiration. You have that lightning bolt of Eureka of Einstein. That is more like the nature of Lucero, or you say like a really dark kind of fiery like legba. We're in other traditions like a legba, like it's a communication spirit, so it's one of the first ones you usually get. And also each inganga might also have kind of the lucero, or you go to lucero first because it can communicate with the other ones, so you might not know like which one to go to, and then it comes out in the reading that this one really spoke, and then you're going to go to that one. Also, I spoke about in when they take out your ancilla, your path, after a few days after you've been scratched, they don't throw shamalongos, they throw shells, and it's beyond, you know, basic patterns, and they do have like their own specific knowledge that's not Ocha. They don't have like huge like Oduses and stuff like that, but there is specific meaning, and certain entities do speak in certain patterns. That's beyond what I wanted to say, but more like Lucero is not a doll. Usually they might have like a doll or statue with it, but usually it's made in a cauldron. sometimes they'll tell a new initiate to go out into the forest and to find a specific stone of a specific size or looks or has specific properties. Um, and then the Tata leader will check um, that is this Lucero that walks with you basically. So do I think I need one or an Nganga or anything like that? Like no. The priests are the Ngangas, and if you've been a spiritualist for a really long time, or you're a really great spiritualist, you don't. They say you can do the same thing, basically with a glass of water. So that will make you very effective and very dangerous if you can do basically the same thing with a glass of water. Um, that you can do with an Nganga. Okay. So just because you have a fancy car, you might not know how to drive it. It might break. There might be other forces and laws at nature at things going on here. So to me, it's just like you have a fancy KitchenAid equipment. You have a fancy mixer. Well, I still know how to mix something. That's the way I see it. And then also being female, I also think that some more concrete things had to be built for a gender. I'm not going to say anything against male, but women are very spiritual, very witchy. Like you really, really, if you're cooking with fire, like I don't really believe I need one. It's another responsibility. I already have a lot of things here, and I'm more mortal based. Now, someone who's maybe not as mortal based, I don't know. Like in Ocha, you have some people who are just like not mortal based at all, but I'm extremely mortal based. Um, I got my things halfway in Ocha. I don't want to be crowned necessarily. I'm not against it. If I had a whole bunch of money, like, okay, I go do it. I'm marked for it. They're insisting even, but like, if I had my druthers, I wouldn't just go do that. So like, or even Palo. I've been around it for a very long time. I've been married to a Polero. I was in other houses that I didn't go into Palo in, and just learned a lot. And then even when I went into it, like I said, after my tata just said no to a lot of my preconceived notions. So, and my mentor now is also in Palo. So if you want to ask me like what Palo is, even, you guys need to think. It is black and it is white. It is cold, hard facts. It's not your feelings. So when they say, "Hey, no sentimiento," it means it's facts and not feelings. It doesn't matter how you feel about something. It doesn't weigh into the reality of what we're doing and the consequences of what we're doing. Okay? So, cold hard facts. You have to have your head on right mentally, or you're going to get effed up with something else pulling you around, telling you what to do, or taking you over. You have to have somewhat of a strong personality or get that. Um, People say your stance or your manner. Okay, because I'm saying I don't need an Nganga because if someone sends their Mfumbi here, I'll trap it. I'll trap that motherfucker in a second. I dare someone. I fucking dare someone to do it. So if you are that strong of a spiritualist, what is having that going to do against somebody like me? I swear to God. So, trapping spirits, being a motherfucker. Excuse my language, but you have to be tough. And I've been through my whole like health journey. I got extremely sick. I got all my health back. And so for me, approaching these religions, it's not just to make money, get out of a jail sentence, etc. It's extremely spiritual for me. And I'm extremely like mortal based. Okay. So we'll get that out there because um faith is the key. Like I was saying to spiritualism earlier, faith is actually the key, not meditation. We were talking about meditation a little bit earlier too. That's maybe a whole other video I should make. Um, it's not like a whole bunch of like we can talk to Mama Chola and she does this and she does that. It's like there's just the river, there's just lightning, there is just fire, there is just water, there's just the wind whipping it around, there's trees, there's dead people, which are of different character and usefulness and non-usefulness. So there's dead people. There's like the rain. There's God. That's it. That's it. There's not a whole bunch of fanciful stories. It's not all like colorful and surreal, like voodoo and stuff like that. It's raw nature. Raw nature. You see a lion eating something, you see a spider doing this, doing that, birds chirping, going out in forest. If you get a stick and you walk around like Bilbo Baggins, like freaking Bombadil, that's closer to Paolo. That's closer to Paolo. Raw nature. Are you dead or are you alive? Is that the rain? And that's why with Paolo, you have to be in or out. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to go venerate Mama Chola at a river. Like, I don't want to poo poo that, but a dead may answer. Okay, a dead Polero may answer. Okay, but the pact is what makes Paolo. Okay, and the pact is what turns that into a Mama Chola. I'm just saying, that's why you're either in or out, guys. That's why you can't just, that's why it's that cut and dry. Now, you can work with the dead, you can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of Congo magic. Okay, but I'm just saying, it's just Palo just is. Okay, and that's it. Very stringent. Um, Survival. Maroons, people that ran away from the plantations, went out into the forest. They had to survive. They had a knife. They had to make fire. Fire, Lucero. Okay. They say cavemen. They made fire. They had great realization. They invented things. They got very creative. And they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? So think about that. You have a bag, okay? You might have a few supplies in there, okay? It's like animals, it's nature, it's going out, go on your nature walk, you know. It just is like that. And it's human nature to want it to be other things, but it's just no feelings, cut and dry. This is that, that is that. It's dead people. That's it. So what were they saying? Okay, so spiritualism. Yeah, so you need to be a strong spiritualist because you need to be able to communicate with spirits. If you are deaf, dumb, and blind, then you are disabled. Like if you cannot talk to communicate, then yes, you can receive this lunchable inganga. You can throw your shamalongos. You look at it, okay, that's like a whatever, that's a whatever. But if you're not getting to ask the questions, like, is this a foreigner? Are you far? Is this da you that's all the extra information to even know to ask that. Are you gonna sit there forever or it's gonna refuse to close and other things like that. Um there's spiritual pots, and spiritismo as well for people. Um, I also don't feel like I need that as well, but that can be made for certain people. And going to certain things, there would be reasons to make that. If they couldn't enter Palo, then I think that would be a good thing for them to help to connect with and have something. Um, yeah, but I just like to keep my things clean. I keep my things in a certain area for now. I don't know what else to say about Lucero other than, yeah, a dark, dark, fiery sort of energy. Brings all the good things in, keeps all the bad things out. Um, uh, we want them on our side, so we have more order, kind of like out of that random chaos of stuff that's happening. Sort of like the doorkeeper as well to the temple, to keep the bad out energies when we're doing ceremony, but also people, because when people come to the temple, they usually start asking they do like scratch and ask you in front of a Zarabanda or an Asasi usually, but they do ask and go through Lucero as well, and they will have usually someone at the door who may be a child of Lucero as well, just kind of scope the perimeter. It's not just about the door, like the perimeter as well of the yard or whatever. Um, usually has something to do with Lucero, and it's your first sort of alert as well, besides your ancestors, is this sort of like doorkeeper. So we do have some other kind of like hybrid spirits who are kind of like, it's kind of like a policeman kind of in a way, like a bouncer in a way. You could say like duty. So it will give you like more foresight of like things occurring, because it is the messenger spirit. And then it also will help you um like just with your communication if you have those other shrines. um yeah, and would I get one eventually? Maybe. It's just I don't want to be starting to having to, and Canada has different laws about having to kill roosters with my hands, or doing it in a certain manner is actually a lot more difficult than for men. And I don't have a tata here, so I'm not going to be doing that. So just let you guys know, get really strong with your spiritualism, absolutely. Um, uh, Even my tata says it keeps him more elevated, more light. If you're doing always like heavy stuff, darker stuff, it just helps you keep you clean and more like in line with your guides, um, and stuff like that. And obviously we did misas before I was scratched as well. We did one only. Um, I hosted one for someone who's getting scratched, and then we had mine as well the next day or something like that. Um, yeah, so that's all I really have to say. Spiritualism, you need to develop that. You need to be able to communicate with them in some way, like your dreams, visions, your writing medium, and you just go and you just start seeing letters and figures. I don't know. You need to have some reliable methods that you can, or several that you can compare against each other to start trusting yourself and building that. So maybe I will do a quick maybe video about meditation sometime. I was gonna do, and I'm gonna put up that like skills video, but I think that when I do the video talking about spiritualism and the other prayers, I would like that video just be a little bit more organized. Even though this is easier just to jump on here and chat, I'll probably do that one like another day and sit down and just write down the things I want to say. So if anybody has any questions, wants to send me questions, wants to send um, any questions, or wants to know anything, yeah. So I'm putting myself more out here as a spiritualist, and especially locally and stuff like that. Again, because of accessibility. I'm not trying to come on here and say I'm a senior yai or anything like that, but I have been around for a very long time, in around Paolo, even though I'm only scratched for 4 years. Again, was done in an emergency, and I kind of put these things off, so I can learn and know what I'm getting into. And so, yeah, basic questions about the religions, just so people aren't just like so much in the dark about things. So you can protect yourself a little bit better, learn, or be able to ask a little bit more questions about some things. And yeah, there are differences, but like when there is differences, then maybe know why, or just file it away in the back of your head. You know what I mean? Just so you're not so blindly like loyal, and because you kind of fall in love like as like a family. I found if some people are looking to belong, or they don't come from a good background, they kind of really get sucked into that. I find, and it's sad. They get into like service orientated because they kind of abandon themselves or whatever. So work out your personal problems, you guys, because that's going to all be manipulated by spirits or people. And if you are very good with your spirits, then other people will not be able to bullcrap you. So even if they give you like a really good deal and they say, "Oh yeah, Hermano, give me like $400, and you can pay the 600 later, and I'll make you a tata, whatever," and and something's telling you like, don't do it, like just don't, like then don't do it. There'll be other opportunities. It's not worth it. And like I said before, I don't want to scaremonger, but you could potentially die during any of these ceremonies if they give you something to eat, or it's just spiritually bad, because you technically do die and you technically do resurrect on a new path. If you're going in blind, and then even the brujeria that people could do to you, or just dealing with these people and making up things about you or doing other stuff, it's just really hard to deal with going into these traditions. Unfortunately, it's not going to be what you want it to be. Just try to get what you need, what you absolutely need, without getting screwed over, getting your things, right? It's nice to make relationships and have friends and stuff like that, but don't get caught up in the personalities and relationships. Even though, yes, you're supposed to be a spiritual family, you need to put yourself first, almost, because you're spending the dollars, you're working hard, it's your health. Um, so just take that seriously. Seriously, that's the only reason I make these videos at all. I'm not taking any god kids. And ATRs. Voodoo, maybe in Sanse, but that's really close to my heart, kind of, because that's more like my bloodline spirits and what I'm doing and what I'm more back in again. And that's what I wanted to do. And the Orishas I received also, they were all Dahomey, most, like, besides the beginning ones you get, they're all Asohano, and the path I got, they're all voodoo spirits. Um, and voodoo is West African again, but with Congo spiritual technology. So I love voodoo. That's more like where my focus is at. But I did these things for my health, or they also help empower you with the Congo spirituality and the Congo magic. I will say it didn't maybe completely heal me, but it picked me off the floor, gave me that get up and go, that life force, that boom that I needed to like keep going. Um, to give me to start to, like, through Babaluaye giving me my health back and hard work. I had to do a lot of hard work myself. So let's not get this twisted. When you sit down and do it, it shouldn't be hard work, but it's a lot of money and hard work that we have to put into these things. It's not just, you're not going to be where I am in 1 year, 2 years, or maybe even 5 or 8 years. And so people want to learn and they want to know everything right away and they want to be really good at it, in 4 years. And I get that, or 2, 4 years. Like, I get that, but there's just so much to know. You're going to have your spirits. Not everybody has every single one. So you're going to, like, know more about, what you have. And let's keep it real. Um, right? And that's why we have community. So other people have other stuff. And then, we have mentors, we have godparents. We can ask these things. So if I don't know, I can find out. And so, yeah, there's only so much I could say. And that's also why I had to redo my playing card video, because, like, I can't say that. Because I don't want people doing certain things, because then they'll just, that's what they do. They take my stuff, they do it themselves, and then they want to talk whatever. So, um, yeah, like I said before. So these videos are for productive means only. Yeah, so if you guys have any more questions and stuff like that, let me know. Let me know, right? So when you're initiated in Paolo, you should be given your Peti Pemba, but I was also given my Luceros as well. Um, so I can also work that as well. Guess that just popped into my head about Lucero as well. So I was given my path of Lucero as well. Um, so yeah. See you guys later. And like I said, my other video is going to be more structured. And then uh, maybe I will jump up back on here and just say some stuff about meditation, just because, like, I think people are really trying too hard, and, like, um, yeah, I'll just say, like, some things that have really helped me, because that's why I'm going to be putting up the skills video. Thanks. That's what I was reminding me. The skills video. Because not everybody can really visualize. Like, everyone's very visual because, like, everything's, like, on the screen. Social media. Like, you're looking at your phone all the time. But people don't have that. It's almost like a 3D kind of, like, picturing in their mind. and I was at a group therapy, and there's actually a medical condition of people that cannot visualize, like they cannot. They don't even have thoughts in their head, I don't think. Like they're just until they think it. So it's like that's very weird to me that people are walking around just with like blank heads apparently. Like if you say apple, they can't close their head and see like an apple. And it's actually like a medical thing. I didn't know that. But anyways, um um visualization and memory. And when I upload the skills video, I'll say again why memory is important. And because we're using our senses, and we use our senses, and our extra senses build on our regular senses basically. And well, there's other spatial reasons for that. So I'll get into that. And I had like a very good upbringing basically when I was a little child, but I was very haunted. So yeah, I was put in really early school before kindergarten, and my I wasn't homeschooled, but my mom did like a lot of like skills, like trainings and stuff like that with me at home, which I think really helped my visualization. And like I had almost like an automatic memory. Like I'm bad with names, but I had almost like a photogenic memory, which really actually helped me in school and stuff like that for studying as well, like that. So and actually, I grew up, I was left-handed too. I was born left-handed too, which is also really interesting too, spiritually and with other things too. So I'm corrected. I write with my right hand, but I do a lot of things with my left hand too. Um, so like they say like that's like the devil's child, or like that's like a witchy, that's kind of like a witchy thing besides like birthmarks and other things and being, born on certain days. So interesting topics. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for all the positive responses. Like, things have changed a lot. Yeah, a lot of people are haters, but like I think in general people are at a place now where they see what it is, and they value and they maybe value the information, although the community is obviously gotten a lot worse everywhere, not just ATRs, just in general. I think humanity's down the tubes, so just be careful out there, and I'll talk to you guys later.